Welcome to the Seed Creative Podcast, the podcast where we discuss both video production and just life in general. The goal of this podcast is the same as the goal of our business, to make a difference in people's lives. Hello and welcome to the Seed Creative Podcast. Today's co-host is Nick Golden.
What's up?
And our guest, Jimmy on the streets
Timothy.
himself.
That's right.
Jim Page.
In the flesh.
Dude, so really quickly, just so everyone knows, this podcast is going to be probably a little bit more business focused. However, I think that if you're in the video world or if you're in obviously any business in general, you will learn a lot and you can benefit from today's podcast. So first and foremost, who is Jim Page? What is your title? What do you do? Where do you come from? The whole background of Jim Page.
All right. Well, first of all, thanks for having me today. Jim Page, I'm president and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce of West Alabama. We're based here in Tuscaloosa. We are a business advocacy organization, as all chambers are. Our organization is 121 years old, so got a long legacy in this community. I've been president for just under 10 years. January will be my 10-year mark. Wow. So proud of that. Proud to have that kind of longevity here. Seen a lot of growth in this community in the last 10 years. I've been proud to be a part of that. Been in the chamber business almost 20. I spent about 10 years in Decatur with that chamber before I came here. Love my job, love what I do. I'm sure we can kind of get into what we do, kind of the nuts and bolts of that. But really, if you had to boil it down, we're all about making economic conditions better in this area and helping businesses grow and thrive, and trying to do our part in making this a better community to live, work, play, learn, visit, et cetera, et cetera.
How long, so were you president? I don't know this. Were you president right when you started at this chamber, or did you work your way up?
No, I came here accepting the president's job. So
Cool.
I've been that since January 1, 2012.
So how have you been in the chamber industry for 20 years when you look like you're maybe 2 years older than me? Did you start when you were in diapers?
Well,
or?
Actually, George, you and I are both older than we would like to admit, so I think that's part of it.
Dang it.
Right out of college, I worked in Montgomery for a couple of years and hated my life, and so I wanted to make a pivot, and so went back to North Alabama, and I kind of stumbled into the chamber profession, but started that. I had just turned 24 when I got in the chamber profession, and I'm pushing 44 now, so that's how you get it in 20 years.
A lot of experience then. So you said we would get into the nuts and bolts of it. So a lot of our listeners are freelance video people. They're young guys like Nick, some guys like Gavin. I'll be honest with you, even when I was approached by a chamber member and was like, you really need to get involved with the chamber years ago, I didn't understand what that meant. You use these words like an economic driving force, stuff like that. When you're young, you don't really understand what that means and how that can be beneficial to be a part of or to even just understand it. So talk a little bit more in depth about what a chamber is and what the chamber does.
Sure. Well, so at the heart of what we are, we're a membership organization. So we're not part of government. We're not part of some national organization. We're a freestanding membership organization that's owned by the members of our organization. And so just in very, very simple terms, we're a big club of businesses that kind of pull their resources together, and those resources pay for people like me and our professional staff that work on their behalf every day. And so whether it's dealing with government issues at the local, state, or federal level, or it's dealing with workforce development issues, trying to help larger businesses specifically try to find labor in the community, or just creating opportunities for business-to-business networking and marketing, That's really our bread and butter.
Yeah.
People want to do business with people they know, they like, and they trust. And that happens through relationship building. And the
Right.
chamber is a club, is a membership organization that brings those people together and allows somebody like a Seed Creative get in front of a major hospital or a major manufacturer and connect those dots. And that's what the chamber provides. And in every community, chambers are a little different in their scope and what all they do. But it really at the base level, our bread and butter is putting businesses and putting people together, hoping that they can create mutually beneficial relationships, keep their dollars in the community by doing business with each other. And when all that happens, the market grows, the local economy grows, and economic conditions improve. And that's kind of what we provide.
So you're like a business matchmaker.
Absolutely. Every day.
Well.
Sure.
Yeah. And something that I've noticed about you and the people, there are so many names that we could throw out there, but just the people at the Chamber of in West Alabama are incredible people, but it's almost like in the back of their minds, they're always kind of calculating this person would absolutely mesh well with this person over here. They need to talk.
Right.
Even if it's just something like, I'll use an example, Trip Powell and I have become, at this point I would consider him a friend.
Sure.
And he's someone I would have never met had it not been for the chamber. And even deeper than that, I think that you, years ago, were like, Trip and George's, just the way that they are as people would probably get along. They need to meet. And it was probably just at like a dinner or something. You were like, hey, meet Trip Powell, and shook hands. And that was the beginning of that. And so I think that you specifically, but everyone at the chamber does a really good job of recognizing talent and personalities. And you can kind of be that matchmaker in a sense there. So let's move forward on our relationship with the chamber. So Seed Creative, my video company, has been around since 2014, and I believe it was at the end of 2014, a chamber member said, hey, you need to get involved with the chamber, and he did. That's just kind of all he said. He was like, you need to get involved with the chamber, and I was like, what do you suggest? And he said, why don't you just go talk to Jim Page? Why don't y'all have some, just go chat?
Yep.
And so I went up there, and we ended up, I think I just came in and was like, look, I'm a new guy. I'm a video person. What are some things, what are some ways that I could benefit the chamber? And you were like, well, we have this annual conference every year that we've used videos before. Maybe you could help with that. And it just turned into this booming, epic way for me to promote myself. But then also, I think that the annual events over the years, and you can stop me if I'm wrong, but would you say that the quality or engagement has improved since we've been doing these videos since 2015?
Yeah, without hesitation. That is our premier event of the year. That's really the premier business event in this community. Every single year we have, around 500 of the top movers and shakers and CEOs and plant managers, et cetera, that come to that event. And it's always a great event. We give out awards to really deserving entrepreneurs and business leaders, and we kind of transition our volunteer leadership, and there's all that pomp and circumstance to it. But it's also an opportunity for us to tell the membership, again, the ones that own our organization, what all has happened over the previous year. And a lot of what we do is not very sexy. A lot of what we do maybe goes under the radar because it's kind of the day in, day out grunt work, but it's making a difference. And that event gives us the opportunity to tell the businesses who are busy day in, day out running their business and making their payroll. They're not really watching, what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. And so that event gives us that opportunity. Where we had been missing the boat, we didn't tell that story very well. And so the mutually beneficial relationship we created with Seed was that we get to tell our story in a really professional, high impact way, because most of us are visual learners. I mean, we digest information better when we can see it. And so these videos, which have gotten bigger and better and bolder and funnier and more dynamic every year, it really leaves a profound, I think has a profound impact on our members, because they leave that event going, wow, I can't believe we did all of that last year. And then at the same time, you get, and your team get to show off what you can do, your capabilities, and the amount of talent that's right here in this community. And I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's opened the door to so many more business opportunities for you after that event's over, because people are like, hey, my company needs to do something like that. And there you go. And that's where the win-win comes. And I intentionally and strategically try to find those opportunities for our membership all the time, because I don't want somebody having to go to another city, to find talent or to spend those dollars outside of this community if they don't have to. And I think, you and Seed, you're a poster child example of how that matchmaking can work.
It does.
And I want to jump in real quick. And so what, this is kind of more directed towards George, but it's in relation to what you just finished with. Where was Seed kind of at before, like right before that conversation and you started to get with the chamber, and how did that like transition and change once you got involved and did that first year?
That's a great question. I'm glad you're here, Nick.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm here too.
Because I don't think about stuff like that. So in 2014...
You're going to live to see another day on a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. This is my audition to not get fired, so I've done it.
Oh, man. So when I started my company in 2014, we've talked about this before on the podcast. I did not know what I was doing. No clue. I'll be honest, I still don't know what I'm doing. We just kind of figure it out as we go. But I really didn't know what I was doing when I started. And in my background, because I do have a sales background, my background was all just cold calls and knocking on doors and walking around town and doing everything I could. And I literally did that. I've got the camera right over there on the desk. A DSLR, a free editing program called iMovie, and a backpack with a laptop in it. And I'm walking around, and I don't know how legal that is, but I mean, I never got kicked out of anywhere. So it was more of like, I'm going to introduce myself, let you know what I do, and if you need anything, I'm here. And so that was kind of my way around walking around and doing that. So...
And there's nothing wrong with that. That's bootstrapping it. That's how a lot of entrepreneurs start off.
Right.
But you found a way to work smarter, not harder.
Sure. So as I'm doing that, I'm kind of slowly trudging along. I mean, we were very fortunate that we had some money saved up that we were able to just kind of figure this thing out. But
because you were doing it full time at this point, basically?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, dude. So a little bit of my backstory. I put a 6-month notice into the company that I worked for. And for 6 months after work, I stayed up studying until 1, 2 in the morning. And then I'd get up at 5 in the morning and get back to work. And so I did that for 6 months to try to figure out, like, how am I going to do this? Because where I was, there was not a lot more potential for growing beyond where I was. I'd kind of plateaued. And I did not want to go into management at this place or anything, which I love the company I worked for, but I was I knew that I was limited. And with video and with running your own business, the only limitations are you. Like,
right.
My only limit is what I am willing to put forth.
And you're able to do as well, but
right. And so anyway, so I'm not getting a lot of traction with the bigger kind of companies, and I'm doing some stuff for some small locals, it's very important, and I'm very blessed to have gotten some of the work that I did. But it was a true shift in everything once I did that first video with the chamber. So I did that video, and immediately a company called BF Goodrich Tires. BF Goodrich Tires are their partner. Well, they're owned by Michelin. They're an international company. They're
Right.
huge. They come up and they say that night, I need your business card. I want to talk about making a video like you made tonight for our 70th anniversary.
And that would have never happened.
That would have never happened.
Who knows where they would have gone for that video? Like,
I don't know if they would have done a video.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that it's one of those things where it's like, wouldn't it be cool if we made a video and then it just never happens because people don't have those connections. People don't know who to talk to.
It's daunting, yeah.
But because I was there, we were in the moment. I got my name up there. They came to me and they were like, "We want a video." And that was the first big client that I got. Period. I mean, like I said, I had worked with other video production companies. I had done weddings. I had done some smaller videos, but nothing. It was like, how am I going to get in with these people? And that gave me that pathway immediate. It was that night I landed that.
It also gave you credibility.
That too. Yeah, absolutely. Because I have Jim Page.
Well, no, not me, but I mean, for the chamber being a reputable business association that we are, the fact that we trusted you to do our video kind of gave you the good housekeeping seal of approval, so to speak.
Yeah,
that's an old term for you young bucks, but it gave you that kind of. It gave other businesses confidence that you're a reputable company. You're not some fly-by-night guy with a camcorder, that you know what you're doing.
Right.
And I think that's the difference maker. And that's why it's important to align yourself with a chamber or some kind of professional association so that you can earn that credibility.
Yeah. And so I did that video, went great. They loved it. BF Goodrich is a client today, and this is 6 years later. We just did a video for them a month or two ago. So we're doing regular videos for them every year. I have great relationships with them. They're fantastic. And they were kind of the first ones. And then because I've worked with BF Goodrich, I can put that on my website as we've worked with BF Goodrich. And now as I show or talk to bigger companies, or if they land on our website, oh, they've done work with the chamber and with BF Goodrich. Wow, let's talk to them. The next year, I got Maccabee Construction. I did a video.
Another huge company in this market.
We're in the process of working on a video for them right now. Actually, you don't even know about it yet. So I just sent the estimate out, and we're waiting on them to get back to us on the next steps on creating a video for them. And so now we've got BF Goodrich and Maccabee. And there are so many companies that trickle down from that because, like I said, because we have BF Goodrich, we have Maccabee, then there's other companies that have started taking us seriously as well.
And there's companies that work with those companies
that
have hired us.
And so it has just grown exponentially. And so that has helped us tremendously.
Well, again, we helped open the door, but like a BF Goodrich, as you said, is a global company.
Right.
If they trust you, and they have very, very high standards, as you can attest to.
Oh, yeah.
When they trust you, and then they're a repeat customer, that shows what kind of relationship you've established. Other companies don't have to overthink whether or not I need to use seed because BF Goodrich has proven you're legit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've done at this point probably 15 videos for them.
Yeah, there you go. Proof's in the pudding on that.
Yeah, like we've done maybe more. I honestly don't even remember.
Yeah, it's a lot.
We've done a ton of videos for BF Goodrich. We've got hard drives dedicated to just them. And again, with Maccabee Construction as well, we've done a lot with them. And then, Buffalo Rock we've worked with. We've done stuff with Mercedes. We've done stuff with like all of the big locals in one way or another. We've done stuff with
school system.
Oh yeah, school system. Yep.
Yeah, they're a huge client.
So one thing that I do want to talk about too, and I want you to, if there's any way that you can articulate this maybe better than I can. Have you seen a difference in the videos, in the way that they were done, the way that they were structured from the first video I did with the chamber to like the one we recently did? Has there been any sort of a a shift one way or another stylistically.
I should also clarify something before that, which is Seed is also now, like, the Chamber is now a client of Seeds as well. Like, you don't just do the annual video, we also do videos,
Oh yeah, throughout the year for
Yeah.
throughout
workforce
the year.
development.
We should
and
clarify that before
Oh,
you
yeah.
jump
Well,
in
I
there.
mean,
You did multiple COVID videos for
Yep.
us during the peak of all that last year.
Yeah.
So
I didn't even talk about West Alabama Works is another, large partner at this point is
Sure.
how I look at them. But
Sure.
yeah, I mean, client, partner, whatever.
Yeah.
But we've done tons of videos through West Alabama Works, and there again has opened a tremendous amount of doors because when they do their annual event, or now 2 annual events called WOW, it's called Worlds of Work, and then they have a WOW 2.0. We're out there. They just emailed us the other day. Hey, these are the dates. Are you available? Of course we are. We're going to be at WOW, and we're out interviewing again all of these companies that are at WOW showing off, and we can hand them a business card
Yep.
there. We can say, and by this point they all know us. They all say, yeah, you did Jimmy on the Streets, or you did the latest video. So, but back to that, because I just want to, I have a reason to ask this, but have you seen a trajectory in the style and in the tone and the mood of the videos that we do for the Chamber annual event from when we started to where we are just with this recent video?
Yeah, I think they've definitely evolved. I think a lot of that has to do with trust that we have in each other, that we're not gonna do anything crazy.
Well,
And also, well, crazy. That's touche. I probably shouldn't use that word, but
we're not going to do anything that's going to make someone look bad.
yeah, we're not going to embarrass anybody. Other than me, but I get paid to be embarrassed, so that's fine. So I've seen them evolve over the years. I remember that first video that we did. It was fairly traditional in terms of broad community shots, that sort of thing. I think we've gotten obviously a lot more creative over the years with the shots we do. I think we've turned them into much more people focused.
Yeah.
Which I think is important. People want to hear from people in the community that they may know or may know of, and let them tell the story. And so I kind of like the human interest component, I think, that we've added. And then something that I know is near and dear to your heart, George, is the humor aspect that we've added. Chambers can easily be classified as stuffy sometimes and traditional. We're business organizations. That's hard to be sexy or fun a lot of times. But what I'm really proud, and I appreciate you leading us on this, is to take what we do seriously, but not take ourselves too seriously.
Yep. That's like our MO around here,
Well,
honestly.
and I love that. I think that's how I am, and my kind of friend circle is too. But at that event, when you're in front of a room of 500 business folks, you feel like you have to be serious. And everything has to be really buttoned down. And a lot of it is. But we've also incorporated that humor, the lighthearted part of it, the human side of everybody. And I think the response by our members has been overwhelming. They love having the balance of telling the serious stories of the serious work that we do, but having fun with it too.
Right.
And I think that's probably the most significant way the videos have evolved since we started.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I wanted you to say and hoped you would say, is that when I started Seed Creative, I was actually branded under Seed Digital Media, which is much more kind of just buttoned up and, but I truly, like, if there are people listening out there, I want you to understand, I was trying to be everyone else that I saw in this industry.
Because it's safe to start that way.
Well, not only is it safe, but it's almost like there's a mold. I mean, you've heard the term cookie cutter. If you do it the way this guy down the road is doing it, you will be successful the way that this guy is. And that is absolutely not true. That is not true, because I am not that guy down the road. I am not that guy in Birmingham. I'm not that guy in Huntsville. I'm not that guy in LA. I'm George, and I have to be who I am. I have to be a goofy, silly skateboarder with a backwards hat that only wears a tie once a year, and that is for the annual event.
Yeah, Jim Page right now is dressed much better than either one of us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And he's pretty.
And I'm pretty dressed down for
He's
me.
pretty relaxed. Yeah. So, but what I'm trying to say and encourage people that are listening is don't try to be the guy down the road. Don't try to be me. Don't try to be Seed Creative. Don't try to be Nick. Don't try to be Jim Page. Just literally just be yourself. And I promise you, you will start making sales more. You will start being taken more seriously because people can see through that crap. They can see when you're being fake, when you're being the Mr. Professional. Now, if you are Mr. Professional, be that. You're going to be fine. But I really wanted it to be understood that I felt like it was good to step in to the chamber videos and be kind of cookie cutter and professional because it was safe. But then once I got to know you and you got to know me, we were like, all right, we can be safe but still have fun.
Yeah, that's right.
We can strategically weave, like you said, the story of this is what we did, this is how we're professionals, and then have some lightheartedness, and it keeps people engaged.
Right.
It keeps people involved because this is what, like a 2-hour dinner usually.
Right.
I mean, 2 hours is a lot, and so.
Well, let me jump in to talk about being yourself. I mean, again, I said people want to do business with people they know, they like, and they trust. You can't really know somebody, you can't really like somebody, and you certainly can't trust somebody if they're not authentic with you.
Right.
Exactly.
Whoever they are, whatever their style is, if they fake it or try to be somebody else, people see through it. Yep. And you just can't develop long-term, sustainable relationships, especially professional relationships, when people know that you're full of it.
Yep.
You've got to be authentic, and you can be very different from the client you're working with. Your styles may be very different, but when you approach that relationship in an authentic way, you can find your swim lane, you can find your middle ground that you both can work together on, and that's what develops that trust. I certainly think that's how we've worked, but you've probably experienced that with B.F. Goodrich, with Maccabee. I mean, guy with the hat turned around backwards skater guy walking into a construction company, not necessarily a natural fit right out of the gate, but because you've developed those relationships, you've been authentic, they're authentic.
It feels normal.
It feels normal.
It feels absolutely normal.
It feels normal, and you've got a trusted relationship, and that has turned into bottom line benefits for your company.
Yeah.
Period. End of story.
All right, so let's switch gears a little bit. So how would you say, from a non-video person, and you and I have had this conversation before over in the old studio, but how do you feel that business can directly and positively be impacted by video?
And also what kind of, I'm not going to say gave you that idea, but like you had mentioned that chambers some other chambers haven't done as much as this one has. So what kind of gave you the green light to, we need to do video, like this is a good idea for us?
I think we do a good job with print. We do a good job with social media, all your traditional, digital components, but video was just a medium we had never used. And obviously we thought it was a compelling way to do the annual meeting as opposed to, half a dozen talking heads getting up and just droning on and on from a script, and you lose everybody, that video could tell our story in pictures in just a different way than we had ever done it before. So we knew that was going to be a new element. I don't think any of us realized how much of an impact it was going to have in telling our story. And so our annual meeting, we couldn't do our annual meeting now without video. I mean, it is a major component of that event, and I think people look forward to it. And the fact that it's a sellout crowd year in, year out is testament that people love that, love getting the information that way. And then since we did the annual meeting video, we've tried to expand it and use it for many other, including social media and including our website and different ways of telling our story. And so I think video was the missing link before, and now we could not tell our story in a meaningful and compelling way without the use of video. So I think you're stuck with us for a while.
It's fine with me.
Yeah.
So what about what kind of encouragement might you give to someone that might be listening that owns a business? And I'm not even, this is not a sales pitch for Seed. It truly isn't. This is a sales pitch for video in general.
Sure.
What might you say, again, as a non-video person, just to encourage or tell businesses how you think that they might be benefit the way that y'all have from just video in general?
Well, just in the world we're living in right now, customers are just inundated with messages all day, every day, whether it's TV, it's radio, it's social media.
Right.
And so how can a business, a company, small, medium, or large, how can they cut through the clutter and tell their story, brag about their product, their service, their value proposition? How can they do that in a meaningful way that gets my attention as John Q. citizen, that buys stuff? I think it's video. Yeah. And so I know that's even though we're in 2021, it's still a new frontier for a lot of businesses that maybe still rely on traditional print advertising, which is good.
Yeah.
Or billboard advertising or traditional, digital ads. All that's good. But you need to have a comprehensive, diverse arsenal, so to speak, of telling your story, of promoting your business and your company. And if you don't promote it, nobody's going to for you.
Yeah.
True. So you have to be intentional, you have to be strategic, and you have to meet people where they are. And I think video gives opportunities to do that in a way that the other more old school, mainstream ways of we've always done business don't work as well. I'm not saying you should abandon those. You've got to, again, have a comprehensive and diverse arsenal to tell your story. But you can do some really creative things with video in very short snippets, but that gets people's attention.
Yeah.
Because I think we're all, again, for the most part, visual learners, and we're visual information gatherers. And that's why commercials on TV are still such just a hot commodity, because it resonates with people. It always has, and it always will. And so I would strongly encourage any business listening, regardless of the size, to make video a strategic part of your communications and marketing plan. If you've never done it before, find a professional like Seed that does this in their sleep to help you. I think that's the only way somebody can be competitive now and going forward.
How often do you, I don't know the right way to phrase this, but you're meeting with somebody and they're trying to grow their business. How often do you recommend video as one of the things? Is that pretty often, or?
Yeah, me or our staff, when we're talking to a business owner, whether it's a brand new startup entrepreneur, it's somebody who's got a business and they're ready to take it to the next level. Their marketing plan is always central to that conversation. They may be the world's greatest at XYZ that they do, the widget they make, the service they provide. But if nobody knows about it, they're not going to have any sales. And so their marketing and communications plan has got to be front and center in what they do. And again, we encourage them to explore all avenues, but video is something that can tell their story like no other medium can.
Yeah, I agree. And this might be something, whoever's editing, that we might cut out. I don't know yet. Depends on Jim's answer and how he feels about this. But I want to say, so for the record, you said that you talk about with other companies, you need to use video. And I know that part of the chamber's kind of responsibility to its members is to say, and look, we've got a video person that we recommend, and look, there's competition within the chamber for video, and I feel like it's important to understand that the chamber doesn't ever push one over the other in anything. They say, look, these are the people that do video. We recommend this person for this person for this. And I think that that's fair, and that's the way that business should be done. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, we are one big family, and we've got to treat all the family members the same. And so we do this. So if somebody called and specifically said, I'm interested in hiring a video production company, who would you recommend? We would recommend all of our video production companies, because they're part of the family. Where you have created a strategic advantage, not the chamber, you have, is the level of engagement you have with what we do.
Right.
The annual meeting video, for example, is a trade. You don't make any, we don't pay you for that. You are a sponsor of that event by creating that video. However, it's the greatest commercial you could ever give yourself. So that's a true business expense by you putting the time and
I do want to say that we spend, and every year it gets more and more, and I don't mind doing it. But our company spends our own money, our own time, our own effort. I pay Nick the same. I pay Gavin the same.
Sure.
Jacob, Adam, everyone that's working on it, they get paid. I'm getting paid for my own time. Chamber's not paying for it. Seed Creative is paying for it. But that's because, guess what I believe in? Video. I believe in our product. I believe in our product so much that we spend, I'm going to say it, thousands of dollars a month on our own videos, because it works. It's an investment. We invest in our own product as much as, so when I go down to Maccabee, when I go to BF Goodrich, when I go to whoever we're working with, Buffalo Rock, I'm naming locals. I mean, we have companies that work with us all over the world, but when I'm talking about locals, I let them know what I'm trying to sell to you, quote unquote. Like, we sell to ourselves.
Yeah,
we believe in it just as much. And we're making videos on our own. I put a behind the scenes video up yesterday of just showing what we do, because I believe in our product, that I spent about 5 hours making. Dude, that 5 hours comes from somewhere. It's coming from somebody's pocketbook, and that's Seed Creatives. But we believe in it just as much as we try to tell other people.
Yeah, you have to market yourself. And so that's
exactly.
And so you have utilized your relationship with the chamber to promote yourself, market yourself, and in turn, we're telling our story in a significant way, and it doesn't cost us money. We're a nonprofit too.
Right. Yep.
Watching every penny. So that is a mutually beneficial win-win relationship, and that's how it should be. But that, again, you have strategically given Seed a business advantage in this market, because you've put yourself out there.
Right.
You've gotten involved, you've gotten engaged, and I think the return on that investment has been significant over the years, because of the businesses that you've been able to develop relationships with, because of the door that we open together.
Absolutely. So we're gonna pivot again. Actually, I'm gonna ask something that's not on the monitor that Nick so awesomely put up for me. Talk about really quickly, what are some of your favorite success stories at the chamber? Seed Creative is one example.
Sure.
But what are some of your favorite success stories of companies that you've helped bring into Tuscaloosa, companies that you've helped create partnerships with, et cetera? What are your top 2 or 3 that you can say, man, this was something that we worked really hard on, and it helped Tuscaloosa in this way?
Yeah, I've got a lot of stories I could tell about not only businesses that we've helped bring in, but initiatives we've helped implement in this community that is in turn helping other businesses. Probably the earliest one that I'll forever kind of hang my hat on is the Edge Business Incubator.
Yep. They're a client of ours. We're doing a
I
video
was
for
gonna
them
say,
right now.
That shouldn't surprise me.
We're doing a video right now for them. That is hilarious.
And that's part of the University of Alabama and
Yep.
their connection. But when I first got here in January of 2012, was kind of looking at the community, I was trying to figure out where are the missing pieces. I mean, this is a college town that's booming. We've got Mercedes and this great, industrial base. It's just a cool place to live. But what's missing? And it was pretty evident to me early on that a focus on entrepreneurship and a focus on the small business startup was not real evident, that we didn't have a business incubator in the community. And most communities our size, a lot of them even smaller, have one. So I thought, well, that's kind of low-hanging fruit. I started in January. In February, I was meeting with the mayor and then President Robert Witt, who was president of the University of Alabama, and said, we need a business incubator in this town. And they both said, that's been talked about for decades. And we just haven't gotten any synergy on it.
Right.
And so that was kind of I needed an early win, first of all, but that was a community challenge. And to not belabor the details, that was in February. In October of that year, we cut the ribbon on our incubator. It was in an existing Regions Bank building downtown, but again, it was just through conversation and relationships. But we opened an incubator. It was kind of a ragtag operation, kind of embarrassing looking back on it, but it was something. And we said, this is just going to be an experiment. It may flop 6 months from now, but we're going to try it. But we immediately had success. We immediately got full. We immediately saw entrepreneurs kind of coming out of the woodwork, and we said, this is going to have some staying power. And this was about a year or so after the tornado of 2011 that devastated so much of Tuscaloosa. And Mayor Maddox, the mayor of Tuscaloosa at the time, he and his staff aggressively went after some federal dollars specifically for an incubator. Fast forward to February of 2019, and we cut the ribbon on a brand new state-of-the-art $12 million incubator facility that's in the community. It's a partnership between the chamber, the university, and the city. But there are dozens of small business startups that have come through the doors there, have graduated from it, that never would have had that resource had we not identified the void in the community. And a million people deserve credit for making that happen. But I'm really proud of our organization's role in kind of convening everybody, pulling them together. And so I know that's not necessarily the question you asked, but that's something we did that's helping and will help hundreds and thousands of businesses over time.
Yeah, it will.
And that's a big deal. And I'm really proud of that. And then the other, is more recent, in 2020 when, everything hit the fan, the world fell apart, mid-March when COVID really kind of came to town, so to speak. And we had a lot of small businesses that didn't know if they were going to be able to keep their doors open.
Absolutely.
The role we played in creating a small business relief fund that helped over 300 small businesses kind of bridge the gap until they could get PPP funds or some of the larger federal monies that were out there. We know many, many stories of small businesses, restaurants, mom and pops that said, we would have closed our doors forever had that lifeline not come.
Yep.
Yeah, we got to meet some of those people when we were filming the annual event for this past one. And I thought it was really cool because I didn't know a whole lot about it. Just I'm a college student.
That was a really. I've said many times. I think I said in that video that I've never been as proud to be a part of anything as I was our COVID relief, and I may never the rest of my career because God knows I hope we never go through another 2020 and all that. But those are the things we've been involved in that not only saved businesses, which is great for the tax base and employment, but every one of those businesses, those are people's lives.
Yep.
Those are families.
Yep.
Those are, putting food on the table. That's, sending their kids to school. That's providing a quality of life for people that are our friends and neighbors. It's not some abstract somebody you're helping on the other end of the world. It's literally people that you see every day.
Yeah.
And to be able to be a part of that is pretty special. And again, kind of tying it back into the video, us being able to tell those stories, which are really meaningful,
Yeah.
and they're personal and they're emotional.
Oh yeah.
Being able to tell those stories, or better yet, letting those recipients tell the story by video is priceless.
It really is.
Hearing their voice rather than reading it.
Absolutely.
Is a huge
it's just
difference.
it's night and day.
Hearing their, like you said, hearing their voice, but then also seeing their faces and the
Yeah,
emotions.
that's
hearing the emotion.
We did have tears with
Absolutely.
some of these videos that,
Absolutely.
when we're filming, and overwhelmingly, let me say this, and I know that you hate this, but I'm gonna do it. It's so obvious with what you just said, but also all of the people that talked about the chamber directly talked about you and how.
Absolutely.
I mean, look. I mean, you're at the top. You're the top dog. So
I'm just the first to go to prison when it all goes
everything that
downhill.
goes wrong, everything that goes wrong is on you.
That's
And
right.
I believe everything that goes right, ultimately, you should take credit for. And it's obvious that you care more about the people within the businesses than the businesses themselves. I mean, you care about the business too, but you care about the people. And I think that's why we're going to segue into, y'all had something pretty amazing happen for your work and for the things you did in 2020. And I'm going to let you kind of explain and talk about what that was, because you know where I'm going with this. So tell us about the awesomeness that was what you received this year.
So the membership let me keep my job.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's not what you're talking about?
That's
Oh,
not that one.
No, I'm really proud. This is kind of a pinnacle career moment. We were recognized by our international chamber association. Just like we're a membership association, we're a member of an international chamber association.
And how many chambers are part of that? Ish.
About 1,600 chambers across
That's a lot.
the United States, Canada, and Eastern Europe. But we were honored just a couple of months ago as the 2021 Chamber of the Year.
Incredible.
And it really, so much of it goes back to the workforce development role we play in the community, which of course you know all about because you've filmed it for years.
Yep.
But also our role with COVID response. This is an annual award they present. It's a very competitive process, as you can imagine. So any year you win it would be special. The fact that we won it based on kind of quote unquote the COVID year is something that I will forever be proud of because I'm really proud of the industry. My chamber colleagues around the country really stepped up to the plate, provided leadership, and
where it could have totally crumbled.
It could have crumbled. There are other entities that I can think of that kind of just sheltered in place, and we didn't do that. I mean, when it hit the fan and all that is when we stepped up and I think did our finest work. And so to be recognized for that by our peers, by the other people that were doing a lot of what we were doing, but I think we were doing it faster and maybe in a more innovative, proactive way. That's something I'll forever be proud of our team. And when I say team, I mean the staff, the board leadership, the membership. You guys played a huge role in that. In fact, I need to show you our 60-something page application when we applied, because you have to apply for this. We embedded so much of the video that you took in that application. So again, they weren't just reading what we did.
They saw what you were doing.
They saw and they heard from the people that we impacted the most. They heard directly from them. And I know I can say without any hesitation that was a difference maker in us winning this award, was the way in which we told our story. So again, I'm forever proud of that. And I think I told you after we won the award, I want Seed to leverage that. I mean, because you were a part of telling the story of the top chamber in North America and Eastern Europe. You had a big role in that. That's a win-win for all of us.
Absolutely. And that's why I love doing what I do, and that's why I truly believe in what we do and why I'm passionate about it and why I'm proud that I have Nick on the team and Gavin and Adam. You know Adam very well.
Absolutely.
Adam cares, and so we don't. This is for our video listeners again. We don't sell video. I've said this a million times. We don't sell video for the sake of selling video. We sell solutions to problems.
Yep.
Via the channel of video. That's how we do it. But if I'm making a video and it does not benefit the person I'm making the video for, I don't want to take their money.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I've told people before, you don't need a video. We're not going to be able to help you. And even though you're sitting there with money in your hand ready to give us, I don't think that's the best route for you right now. Now, there's always, we can make a video and it can have some impact, whatever. But when we make a video, when we sit down in the edit, when we sit down in pre-production, our focus and goal is how are we going to do our best to make a difference in the lives and for the people we're making the videos for. And I'm hoping and praying that this is evidence here that we really take that to heart and we really do it. And I'm gonna be a little bit braggy maybe, but say I believe that we did play some sort of a role in helping the chamber win that award.
No question.
With
No question.
just the fact that you care, and again, Nick cares, and Gavin cares, and I care, and Jacob cares, and Adam cares. That's kind of our core team at Seed Creative, and so you got to care. You got to be yourself. Jim, I know that we value your time, and I know that we need to go. Nick, did you have anything else before our last question?
No, I just think it's super cool that, I came in late, like recently to Seed, and finding out about this relationship and more about it has been super cool. So I can definitely validate what they've been saying, because I've gotten to kind of sit back and witness it coming in and learning that it really does work, I feel like. And I think that our relationship is super cool. Yeah. Also, Jim Page is a great guy.
Yeah.
Gracias.
Jim,
Keep telling people that.
what's your favorite movie?
I don't have to think very hard about this. It's Lonesome Dove.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
More of a mini series. I know I'm probably kind of stretching that a little bit, but when that came out in 1989, I was 11 years old, and I watched it for the first time with my dad. And I remember it came on CBS, and they would replay it every year, and they did that for several years, and that was kind of an annual tradition of sitting down and watching that with my dad. So that was always a cool memory. But now, if it's on still, I stop what I'm doing and I watch it. I've gotten my wife into it, and that's not really her kind of thing, is watching a Western like that. But it's such a compelling movie. The characters in it are so deep, and so they just leave an impression on you. The story's incredible. So if you have a few hours to spare and haven't seen Lonesome Dove, it is exceptional, and it is as good right now as it was when it was made 32 years ago.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's wild.
There you go.
Well, let me say this, Jim. I will forever be grateful for you just as a person, but then also your role that you've played in the business world, in the business community, and for us and our business. So thank you so much, and I appreciate your willingness to be on the edge and to sit and do a podcast for an hour. A lot of chambers may be scared to do that, but you can say that it works. It
does work.
Doing stuff like this works.
It does work, and I think we've got to reach audiences in unique and different ways, and this is again one of the ways to do it. But I'm any help we've given you and the company, I'm proud of. But I mean, y'all have helped us in more ways than we can count. So this is what a partnership looks like. Yep. And again, at the end of the day, I trust you. So you said, "Hey, come do a podcast." All right, let's go do a podcast.
Let's do it. And look, let me say this: the business leaders of tomorrow are these young kids sitting and listening and watching podcasts.
No doubt.
So I'm hoping that we've been able to expose them to what a chamber is, what a chamber does, how it's beneficial, and how within the business community, business is cutthroat sometimes. It has to be. But at the same time, it is also, there are people in the business community that will absolutely be there to help you, to pick you up when you're down, because they're people.
Yeah.
Like you said, these businesses aren't cold steel. They're living, breathing humans that are the businesses. And I think that it's important for people to not be scared of that. They're just people. Don't be scared of the CEOs. They're just people.
Well, and the last time you and I talked, I think I gave this suggestion, and I want to give it again to anybody that's kind of in your shoes, that does video, that's trying to figure out how to create these relationships. I strongly encourage them to approach their local chamber of commerce.
Yes.
Large or small, doesn't matter. Approach them about how can we create a mutually beneficial relationship, and go and tell them authentically, look, I think you could use my services of telling the chamber story and your members' stories through video. In turn, I'm wanting to promote my small businesses.
Sure.
Or my small business. And every chamber in the world is dedicated to helping small business. And so, but a lot of chambers may have staff that don't know what they don't know.
Yep.
They don't know that, hey, we could use video more, or that your video company is even in the community.
Sure.
Right.
So I would encourage, if you're listening and you own a company like Seed, approach your chamber and say, hey, here's a model in Tuscaloosa, Alabama that has worked. Let's do the same thing here. I guarantee you that will bear fruit.
It will. That's it. We're done. Thank you again, Jim Page. Thank you for checking out the Seed Creative Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, comment, all the things. Tell your friends, and let us know how we're doing. Let us know. Give us some ideas, because we'll talk about literally anything and everything.
Yeah, make my job easier. Don't make me produce more.
Yeah, it'll make Nick's job, because Nick is now back full time in school. So give him some ideas. Remember, we have some amazing things lined up. You don't want to miss it, including, still working on it, but he's committed. Jared Land, CEO of Red Digital Cinema, will join us for the podcast. So with that, we're out. Take it easy. See you on the next one. This podcast was produced by Nick Golden with executive producer George Edmondson, edited by Nick Golden and Gavin Manning. Be sure to subscribe, drop a like and a comment. Tune in every Monday for brand new podcast content, and we'll see you on the next one.